Hey Flosstube, it's Sarah from isweariamstitching. Today is February 14th, 2025. Happy Valentine's Day. And this is episode 127. I made a lot of progress on stuff, but I only worked on 3 things. So probably a short video because I became obsessed with a couple projects. So no FOs, none of that fun stuff, some plans to show. Like I said, it's gonna be a shorty. Sorry. Need my iced coffee. I am dragging ass today. I just took like an hour nap. I don't like napping because it just grogs me down. But I was cold and my dog looked warm on the couch and I was like, I'm just gonna lie here near her and hope she lets me cuddle with her. But anyways, so let's jump into the things I've worked on. Let's see, are they in any particular order here? No, okay. So I worked on my winter lady, so much paper. Okay. My Mirabilia at the Met lady. Now I started her with Julie from Kansas City Girl in Colorado World, and we're both working her on 32 count Crimson Peak from Jody of the Steel City Stitchers. I have no idea if she's still dying or not. I didn't buy the fabric. It came in I want to say a Black Needle Society box, but I honestly cannot tell you 100%. So my goal for this winter was just to get her dress done, and I did. So I'm like, well, I have some winter time left, so I decided to work on the arch and the little bauble things hanging down. I can't remember what I showed you last time. I think I'd had this little thing done. So I worked on some of this and I'm working this way. So I'm working around. Except for the beads that I always do the beading last. But she's fabulous and I feel like I got so much done on her. But like I said, I can't remember what I showed you last time. Look how far up I've gotten. I've reached the top of her dress. So, let's see. Top of her dress. Here on the shoulder. So, I'm getting close to this bauble here. So, I'll bring this up, finish this little loop, and then work on that bauble before I start heading back that way. Which should not take any time because it's just a straight line. I mean, it is 3 or 4 different colors. Really wish she had just, for the arch, done a variegated, like a Karen water lily, instead of making me switch out 2 browns, a gold, a gray, and a, wait, on this line, it's 2 browns, 3 browns? 3 browns and like a gold on this line here. So I have to switch them out, and that's a little tedious and a little annoying. Wish she just, for a straight line like that, done a variegated, but you know, it's gonna look good. Oh, she's so pretty. I mean, you know, for a bodiless dress. So yeah, that's my progress. Man, if I get, because I said, it's just, except for the baubles, it's just a lot of straight line stitching. I think by time spring starts in a month, if I don't focus on her, if I, you know, do my other stitches I'm addicted to, I could at least get the arch and that bauble done. And then next winter I'll have just like this and her body, her skin and head to do. And then of course the beading. So I think I could have her done next winter. That's exciting. Wonder who I'll replace her with. Maybe have more Mirabilias. I have a lot of mermaids. And as you can see, my ladies aren't actually winter themed. Like nothing about her says winter. But I have a lot of ladies, a lot of fancy, bigger ladies to assign to the seasons. And I got that idea from Janet of Janet Jabber. She was actually working on Seasonal Queens. But yeah. one last look at her. You will see her again before she gets put away for the winter. Because like I said, I have a whole another month until spring. Between working and some plans I've got going on, I have to. My kid's doing a summer abroad, like a week and a half in England. Summer abroad, spring abroad class is only like a week and a half long, and she lives in Dayton, so I have to drive to Dayton to then take her to the Columbus airport. And I have to pick her up from the Columbus airport, take her back to Dayton. So like I have a couple of days in the next couple of weeks where I will be doing a lot of driving, so obviously no stitching. That's neither here nor there, you don't care. Okay, so the other one I was addicted to stitching was my Dreaming of Klimt from Barbara Anna Designs. And I started this with, excuse me, Marissa of Kissa Creations and Julie from Kansas City Girl in Colorado World. Isn't she beautiful? The only thing I changed on this, oh, the other one I used all the provided, came in a kit, except for fabric, threads, and I'll be using the beads and so on and so forth. There's supposed to be DMC satin, some of this yellow, and I do not like satin, so I just decided to use some Petite Treasure braid in the gold instead, which I like because it gives that goldy feeling you see in some Klimts. So I think it's turning out lovely. I'm saving all this big dark brown fill-in, not for last, but not for right now, because it'd be great for like when I do travel to Dayton and I'm in like a hotel room. I can just sit on my bed, pop on some crappy TV or bring my iPad and watch some YouTube and just fill in. So that's my plan. But I'm working her on 32 count linen in acorns from Stitch Me 2/2 in the DMC and the Petite Treasure braid. Look at all the progress I got on her. This last time you saw it, I had like some of these swirls and mushrooms and I think this. So I got like a big chunk of her top and all of her face done. Oh, it also for some of her face calls for an anchor color and I don't have it. I wasn't gonna hunt down one anchor, so I just subbed it for the DMC equivalent. And I was smart enough to move it over enough that I'll have plenty of fabric for something else. Because sometimes when I get a small piece like this, I just mindlessly start in the center and then I'm like, I just wasted all that fabric. Not this time. Smart Sarah 1. Thinking ahead, Sarah. Isn't she pretty? I love the sparkle that the picture, I always want to say pictureless plus, that the Petite Treasure braid added. So it still has a ways to go up here. I think I like up to here. This is just the first page. Stitches. Oh, she's so pretty. Look at her little face. And I love these pops of blue. See the pops of blue? There's like not a lot, but just enough to give it some interest. I love these pops of blue. Pops of blue and shimmery gold. So pretty. So yeah, I was obsessed with this. I was like, I have to finish her face. And then my big obsession. So with my first paycheck, I bought myself a cheap tablet. I think it was like 50 something bucks. Just so I could download Pattern Keeper. I tried, was it Markup XP? I tried, or I looked into that. I think I tried the free trial. And the cost of it wasn't appealing, and I didn't like using it, so I gave up on that a while ago because I'm normally a paper pattern girl, but for the HAED, this is almost, there's no kid, this is even more. This, I printed out the paper, the pattern. Like, what, when did I start this, year or two ago? Okay, so A, that's a lot. B, I don't just put my paper down and then look at it because it's small. So I fold it up in sections and stick it on my pattern and work on things. So through all the folding, all the creases, it was starting to get real hard to read some of the spots. And then I was frustrated because my eyes couldn't find all the symbols for a color I was using, because I tend to just pop around and try to color complete. So then I have all these open spaces, and I gotta go and plug in 1 or 2 or 3, and it got so super annoying. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bite the bullet, buy a tablet, try Pattern Keeper. Game changing. You guys, I'm still a paper girl at heart. I don't, for every other pattern I have, except for I think 1. It's another full coverage I won from Flosstube a while ago. Paper is the way to go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm a paper highlighter girl. I have been since I was a child. But for this, oh my God, being able to actually see all the symbols, get them all done for one color, and not worry about later down the line being like, what is this just random one stitch that hasn't been stitched? It was, when I got Pattern Keeper and uploaded the pattern into it, I still had a bunch of probably like 50 or 60 stitches of randomness on page 1. So I was trying to fill those in, and then I just got frustrated. And honestly, if it was like this big of a block and there's one tiny little thing, like one not stitched here and one not stitched here and one not stitched there, and they are roughly the same color, I just filled them all in with one color. Like if this was brown, light brown, and dark brown, they all got whatever brown I picked, because you can't tell. You can't tell. But I should have brought my tablet over here because it has the name of the person from Heaven and Earth who I never say because I never remember. So let me just Google it real quick and see if I can find it. Oh, that's not right at all. Mandy Manzano. Okay, from Picture This Plus. Mandy Manzano is the artist. And I got, oh, why is Picture This Plus stuck in my head? Mandy Manzano from Heaven and Earth Designs. That's the head I'm working on. Got dusty. How can a phone that you're actually actively using get dusty? But there is the gorgeous lady in all her glory. And when I was working on her, after I got Pattern Keeper, my son walked by and went, that's beautiful. So that was kind of nice. But I started up here in the top, middle, because I wanted to, this is my first HAED, so I just wanted to start with a big chunk of color, so I wanted to start with that big chunk of black. And so, I'll show you. So I finished that page, and I'd had part of 2 done, because it was all black and it kept going. And this is all I got since I got my tablet a couple days ago. It's like a couple thousand stitches. Oh my God, it was so easy, so much more enjoyable to stitch on this way. I couldn't put it down. Actually being able to color complete. And then because, you know, I had some colors, I was like, well, I just took them all the way down. Like, took them down. Took them across the 2nd page into the 3rd page. Hopefully that helps with the line breaks that sometimes I can see people get. I don't know, we'll see. I don't really care. It's so lumpy, like right here. There's so many colors that it's so crazy lumpy. You can't tell unless you're like looking at it like this as you're stitching. And is that a missed stitch? Oh, is that a missed stitch or just a really light yellow? That's a missed stitch. I think I'll plug us. You can't see. You actually can't right there. It's super obvious. Okay, I'll go fix that later. Ugh, that's frustrating. But that's like, I now that I also have a program that keeps track of, because, well, okay, when I plugged in, this page finished and this chunk finished, it was like 3 point something, 3.1 or something. And then, you know, it keeps track of your progress, and now it's over 4 point something. I did over 1% so this is over 1%. Which is probably more because when I plugged this page in, I just filled it all in, even though I had like 50 or 60 odd stitches left to do over there. But Oh my gosh, total game changer. There's only, like I said, there's only one other full coverage I have that I would probably use Pattern Keeper for. I wonder if, can you get, I don't know how to put patterns onto Pattern Keeper. I don't have a PDF for. Can you do that? I haven't looked into it. Or I really have not looked into Pattern Keeper past downloading this PDFs and starting on it. Because I think my shadowing would be actually, because it's pretty big and it's full coverage, and my pattern is also suffering the crease problem. I don't know, you guys. I'll have to look into Pattern Keeper. I have no idea how that works. But look at all that progress. I mean, literally filling this in and getting everything from here and here. Like, what did I work on this? 2 or 3 days? Yeah. On my days off? Yeah. I was addicted. I was like, I had to force myself to put it down so that I had progress in other things. A, for this video, and B, for my own sanity, because like I started that Klimt with people, and I know it's more of a start along than a stitch along, but I was like, I'm not gonna like start it and then let it sit. It's a small one too. I'm not gonna let it sit forever. And then my winter lady, she only has a month left before she has to go to whip jail. So I'm so addicted. I haven't even worked on my sewing, which I wanted to do as soon as I got the fabric. But I was like, I'm just gonna sew. I'm just gonna stitch a little more in my HAED. My Whip Go is called Whip Go Bordeaux Woe because they're things I'm like, ugh. This was my biggest ugh. But then I couldn't put it down. Look at those colors. Oh. And I was mad because I had a master set of DMC for this when I first started, and then because I didn't enjoy it and I wasn't working on it, I kept stealing from that master set. So then now that I'm working on it again, I went to draw colors, I'm like, oh, that color is gone. And I'm not digging through all my whips. So when I was at work yesterday, I bought like 8 colors that I had stolen and moved to other projects or used up since then. So there's like 8 more colors in here I could have worked on because I picked their symbol and I was like, yes, I don't have it. But yeah, I'm so excited. And this is just 25 count, easy grid. I think it's called easy grid. And I'm doing 1/1 10th stitch. So yeah. And that's what everyone's backs look like, right? They're hot messes. They look like garbage, right? Because every time I look at the back, I'm like, I usually don't care what my back looks like, but that's so dense and so hot, messy, and I'm like, it'll be fine, right? Because this one, I don't wash a lot of my finished projects, to be honest with you. This one, though, because it's going to be so old, because it's going to take me so long, I will probably wash it and hope that also helps even out some of the stitching. What was the point of that story about washing it? Was I going somewhere with that? I don't know anymore. Wish I could rewind my brain and remember what I was thinking as I was talking about that. I was talking about this. I was talking about the back. I was talking about washing it. Which I don't know why that had anything to do with how crazy the back looked. You guys, my brain, total Swiss cheese. Total Swiss cheese. Phew, that's a crazy back. But yeah, okay. That was my big obsession. And that's it. Those are the only 3 things I worked on this week. Because again, obsessed. So what are my plans? My plans are to work more on all 3 of these projects. They may just be these 3 again for the week. Though, let me look at my calendar. Yeah, I only worked 3 days this week, so I got a lot of stitching done. I work like 5 days next week, so I'm not exactly sure how much stitching I'm going to get. We'll see. But my plans are to start that. And my best friend was over not long ago. My son likes to talk with us. And we were talking about crafting, and I started talking about my knitting. And I was complaining about how my college kid never wore the things that I was asked to knit for her until I gave her the giant bag of knitting to take to college to give to friends for the winter or donate to their closet, like it's like a food bank but for clothes. And then all of a sudden I started getting all these texts like, look at me, or in like a hat, a scarf, a cowl. And I was like, now you wear the stuff I knit? Whereas my son was always like, hey, can you knit me a cowl? And then wore that cowl till he lost it or it was disgusting. Hey, can you knit me a hat? Wore that hat. Wore gloves until they were too small for him. He was always the best to stitch for. And then he was like, hey, you know what I haven't had in a long time? Socks. I loved your knitted socks. And I said, well, I've got 3 pairs of socks on the needles right now I'm not working on. You want me to knit you a pair as well? And he went, yes. So I went through my knitting yarn stash, and he picked out this yarn. It is Pinnacle Fingering from Wild Hair Fiber Studio. I have no idea if they're still dying. This yarn is 10 years old. My friend sent it to me because purple is my favorite color, and because the name is called Finding Emo. And if you follow me on Instagram or Bluesky, you know that, or Ravelry, I go by Eat My Oxygen. It's from a Sylvia Plath poem. But her and a couple other friends shortened that to emo and would call me emo. So Finding Emo is perfect for me. So it's just sat in my stash for 10 years because for the first couple years I was like, it was a gift and it means so much. And then I just stopped knitting. So my son's like, I want that. So these are going to be socks for my son, just plain ribbed socks eventually. So my plans are to start that. And then my plans are to do month 5 from the Fat Quarter Shop's Dragon Fruit block of the month. So I'll make 4 of these and make them into a block. And I got the fabric. Look at this one, it's so pretty. Look at that dark purple. And of course, I love the background fabric. I love all these fabrics. So I'll be making those. And then for March, I told you I already spun my tiny decision wheel, and so in a couple weeks I'll be starting my dimension stocking. It's my first ever stocking kit. Isn't it cute? This one's for me because I love pole bears. The only thing I'm worried about is these Christmas trees. Because it looks like on here, like, you see that center line? It looks like they do big long stitches instead of like, you know, back stitches connecting. And I'm afraid those big long stitches will just get caught on stuff. So I don't know if I should just do the normal back stitch, you know, like just a normal back stitch every block, or if I should do a big long stitch. I mean, I'll try it when I get to it and see what I think. Because in the picture, it just looks like they start from the center, so you can see like the line, and then make the big stitches. I just don't want to get caught on stuff, but we'll see. And I probably will try to find an actual stocking making tutorial. I mean, I made a fabric stocking before, so I know the basic general gist. Because for this, from what I gathered from reading the pattern, is just, you just sew this onto the felt that came, and there's like no lining. And then you just make like a little tassel-y thing out of some yarn that came and sew it on the side. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. So, keep this. See about using it for the back if it works for a pattern. I probably just use the fabric pattern I have for the fabric one I made. If this is big enough. And then find some, I have a lot of Christmas fabric. I can find some Christmas fabric for the lining. But yeah, I don't like the idea of just like the stitching being on the inside too. And like, I don't like the idea of no lining. And it's from the directions I read, I just feel like there's no lining. And that bothers me. So look at, there's that pretty blue with cat hair. How to get in the bag. Pretty blue. So that's my plan to start next month as well. And I think that's my only plans. February is to start that. It is February. March is to start that. And then spring will start. So I'll bring out my spring lady, who is my Cathedral Woods Goddess from Mirabilia. I think that's all my plans. I don't have anything special other than that planned for the month. Socks. Well, those I plan to start before March, I go. know, my son turns 21 next month. I should finish them for his 21st birthday. They're just stockinette socks. I wish he wanted DK weight. Oh, big fingering. I could DK weight socks knit like that. You're even sport. Oh, sport socks. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyways, so maybe I should start this tonight because I don't have to work. I work tomorrow, but I don't work until 2, so I can stay up late-ish. Especially now that I took that stupid nap. So maybe I'll start his socks tonight. Wish I could knit at work. It's a lot of downtime at Michael's, you guys. That's all I'm saying. But also that job-wise, going great. I had what I consider my most fun day on Tuesday. That's truck day. So I spent a lot of time, because I'm up front register a lot of the time, and I can't leave the general vicinity because I have to be able to see when people come to the register. So I have sometimes there's a lot of doing nothing. But I got to unbox a lot of stuff. So basically, you just take my little blade, open box, unbox. Oh, I spent hours unboxing between customers and made time go so fast. And my little organizational heart loved it. So I'm like, I love Tuesdays. Please schedule me more Tuesdays. Okay, that's it. That's all I got for you. Nothing in life going on. It's Valentine's Day. My husband and I aren't doing anything special. I've got brownies cooking for him. I got him one of his favorite Terry Pratchett books for let's see, we're here for Valentine's Day because he somehow lost it. I think that I remember him dropping in the bathtub when he was reading it for like the 85th time. It's got gunk on it already. Oh my gosh. So I got him this for Valentine's Day and a bunch of candy because this is his favorite Terry Pratchett Discworld book, Small Gods. I got him the, not comic book, graphic novel version of this for Christmas. So I got him the book for Christmas, for Valentine's Day. And of course I sent my kiddos stuff because I like to give, but it's Valentine's Day, so I keep it low key, just a small box of chocolates and a small gift. And then I sent out some Valentine's Day gifts because I love my gals. Yep, that's it. Nothing much going on. Just stitching and catching up on Flosstubes. I love you guys. I'm catching up on you. That's it. That's it. Thank you everyone who has been nagging me for the past year or so to get Pattern Keeper. And I was like, well, I don't have a tablet. You guys were all right. I admit it. This pattern paper girl, I don't want to say I'm a convert because I don't want to use it for everything. Like I said, I still like having the tablet there and zooming in. It's nice, but man, just going from stitching to like this, sometimes it gets a little old, whereas my pattern's on my stitching, so it's just this. That's the way this little girl, that's the way this girl's heart. I'm drawn to the paper and the highlighting, you know, because it's like coloring a little bit. Okay, I'm really gonna go now. Like I said, happy Valentine's Day if you celebrate. If you don't, happy Friday. I hope you have a good weekend. See you next week.